Hello, Libra, to your timeless love variant reading, where anything is possible, to be honest. All right, whether you're here because you're single, you're partnered up, one, or a plenty, married, divorced, whatever wants to come up, karmic, divine, will be discussed. All right. Keep in mind that whatever brings you here, something may be of value for you. However, these messages may resonate more if Libra is found in your Sun rising and or Jupiter position. However, let's say you're here predominantly being Libra focused in Mercury, Venus, and or Moon sign. If you're paying attention, you may be seeking emotional redemption that this reading may not provide. So check out my sister channel. The link can be found in the description box below, amongst other various details if you are interested. Libra, what is going on? All right, you are carrying a lot of dead weight. You have made a lot of improvements over the last 365-day cycle, and you should be very proud of yourself. And if you're a returning listener to this channel and you were keeping up a little bit with your Libra focused readings, then you're feeling that glory. However, what is the bullshit that not only brings you here, but that you're asking to be saved for? All right, you're asking to be saved by something or someone, and it will just not happen. All right, there's a lot of blame game right now. Pardon the construction that's happening in the background. I can't really do anything about this, so hopefully it's not too much of a distraction and we're just going to push right through. But that's kind of like the nuanced behavior towards your energy right now. You can't get rid of something, and I don't even know if you, one, know what it is, or two, if it would be made apparent to you that you would let it go, because I think your trauma is attached to these bonds, and it's unfortunate because you have the running energy right now in far as how the astrological individual signs are being read for, to understand what it means to live amongst a material world and seeing beyond that narrative. Like, you're really good at that. You're really good in more ways that you even get credit for, because you just are. Okay? You just are. You focus on being. You focus on being. I was going to try to say becoming, but becoming is not the energy here. You're not becoming anything. And with it is being a lot of what you are right now, which is not a problem. But then what's the problem, Libra? And then we go into fucking shadow work, all right? And there's no business in this corner of the readings to talk about shadow work, all right? Segment doesn't give a shit about that shit, all right? She's about, like, making sense of those problems. Let's put it that way, all right? So, since this is not an individual reading, but a generalized reading, this is more of, like, trying to get the overall consensus of what this energy is trying to even want to communicate. This is how much shut down this energy is being made by you. You do not want to talk about it. You don't talk about it. It is completely dead. But the irony of that is how dead it is to you. You can't bring a voice to it, which is sad, because it's warping up a very strange definition of what death means in your psyche, and maybe even your acceptance. That's a lot. That's a lot to begin this with. Anyway, welcome, Libra, to your love variant reading, where everything and nothing makes sense. All right, so Libra, you want to get your shit together, alright? That's clear, that's evident, but why are we in such a lull? This is really, look at that. Ugh. God. Like I said, dead weight. Now we see a noose. My Lord. The hunter, sure-footedness and predestination. Like I said, you're present. But there's a damning energy to that presence. And it's disheartening, Libra. These are not suicidal ideation thoughts. This is about, like, refusal. It's refusal. Don't let that be the problem of Libra. Refusal. You have the tendency to need validation, but you can't accept that. The thief seizing the moment, selfishness. The king, control, reversal of fortune. The musician, inspiration, gratitude. I mean, your staying power is immense, all right? That king makes sure that his fucking sword is in that ground, in that stone, like taking presence. But it's everything else around that presence. Everything else that's wrapped in it, that's chaotic. Everything else that's flying in the mist is like, what's that called? The literal meaning that I'm trying to give is like space trash. But all the shit around you, and then I feel like if you were to turn the nautical compass of like, all right, Libra, you get 3 wishes. One of them would be to get rid of this mess. Like, honestly. But the reason why it's like nuance is like, all right, Ether's tired of giving you these 3 wishes because you're very codependent on these 3 wishes. It's like the wish around every one of those 3 wishes are the most important thing to actually pay attention to, because they feed off of those main wishes to be fulfilled. Your presence. Feeling like the king. Feminine or masculine energy, or gender specific, doesn't matter. It's not gender specific is what I'm trying to say. It doesn't matter. Feeling like the king. Feeling strong in your action. Feeling strong in your conviction and your dignity. Because you want to participate in the song and dance, as a musician indicates. You want to participate in romance. You want to participate in fairy tales and imagination. You want to reach your inner child energy and exude that song of dance. You want to be around good music. You want to be around things that offer a better song and dance as to why you feel anchored. With that anchor right here. Look at that. But in that left hand depiction, you're also feeling angered and not receiving the message. Because the left side of the Kundalini that you are receives the divine messages. Some of you have a very overactive third eye but can't control it on a physical level. But your body doesn't know how to translate that to you, so it's giving you chaos. So you have to make sense of the chaos around you so that you feel a state of presence within the present that you are, to everything around you. Ugh, don't let that third party energy come out again. Like I just saw it peeking through. Dun, dun, dun. 5 of Wands. All right, so there's a problem with spirit. All right, there's a problem with identifying what makes you thrilling, and to feel enthralled in in a way that gives you a frequency of longevity, a frequency of showing up and putting out, a frequency of being entertained and reaping rewards for having been thus entertained. But it's ongoing drama. And again, this kind of gives me that energy of the people that you're surrounded by. There's a spiritual war happening between your social circle of the people closest to you. But ironically, those people are also looking for you for guidance. Meanwhile, you don't really know all of that which it is that you're made of. But what's your power, Libra? Your presence. The full energy. Taking risks in the fact that you are present. It's just going to keep coming up over and over again. Presence. Present. Because in it becomes your fear. Fear is the illusion that the fool doesn't see. You know, he's also not really paying attention to it. But there's a reward for the moment that allows him or her to kind of like understand that he's about to fall off. And they're like, oh, whoa. Snap back into reality. That was just so much in the euphoria of things. Like, let me get back to earth. But that's with full conviction and 1,000% vulnerability. That's a beauty to be had. That's authenticating self. There's a purity that when you are. And in that richness, many of you in reading have received becoming pregnant, your children that way. Offering yourself up for a role, fighting for that role, for that presence, for that opportunity. But then failing in the interconnectedness of relationships within home. And that's a huge cloud over many Libra energy at this time. So the question of the energies all around you is asking you if you're the one actually in control of the narrative. Do you have what it takes to be a leader that the energies around you are asking you to be? You want to be disciplinarian. When you engage in conversations, you've come across like some energy that is diplomatic and understands pragmaticism. You want to bring logic to reason and subjectify the reasons as to analytical metaphors that allow a sort of rhythm to occur within the relationships that you do have. But the King of Wands energy is also fickle. All right, he exhausts himself very easily, and he kind of overshadows the potential of other individuals. So if you don't tame this energy, then it's almost as if you get tempered really easily and angered really easily, but it's a personal problem. And you know you don't want to blame everyone else because you're not really around blaming others for this energy or this responsibility or this character trait about you, but it is affecting those closest to you. So it's putting you on a pedestal or a throne of needing to handle your own business, your own problems. I was just going to say there is someone that Libra is focused on, all right, that allows him or her to feed off of this enriching opportunity, even if it comes with a dialogue that's very intense, because the Ten of Cups also brings home that there is a connection that Libra has at this time with the individuals that are around them. It's just for Libra to understand their ultimate purpose as to why there is drama there, because Libra is the one super focused on wanting to get rid of it, but not knowing how. So their focus is trying to put the pieces together, you Libra, on how to have a sustainable longevity of a family that's happy and a happy home due to the choices that you've made, the choices that were inevitable to you, and just the enrichment aspect of why you love family and showing up for them, right? really aligning the stars with your imagination to the wishes that you've always wanted to show up for. This also brings me the clarity that some of you have created that epiphany for yourself in having had your children, adopted or not, to be able to fulfill this role of responsibility that really actually means the most to you. Yet because you're injured in ways of not knowing how to have a dependable emotional relationship, that's where it's really difficult for you to find sovereignty of your emotions, because fire and water don't mix very well, right? It's like, ugh, it's exhausting. So the dynamic in the family can be difficult, but you also understand it's an isolated problem. And an isolated problem allows you to justify those actions with the Six of Pentacles, of knowing and seeing that there is stability to be had in the connection that you have. Those fears are sometimes, most often not, self-imposed illusions that just offer us a moment to take those emotions from it, find reason, stay in an active position of behavior, and become intrigued with the risk-taking opportunities that they sometimes and oftentimes present ourselves to be. Because in order to understand why Five of Wands energy can be also positive, is to understand that, well, change is always necessary. It's the balance that changes the ultimate quest, and that is a deep longing for this Libra energy to balance their relationships with family. Yet it's important for Libra to do that for him or herself. The Four of Cups showing up, highlighting that, suggesting that the team effort is wanting that connection to work together, to rely on teamwork, because it's a narrative that Libra really holds on to. But in sovereignty, to get to that journey, you need to let go of that, and that is a wrong mind frame of thinking. It's a codependency on something that doesn't exist. It's not seeing the gift that's coming to you because you're so focused at what it is that is at flaw here. But ironically, you're always given good things here. You're given an opportunity to reset yourself, and it's about seeing those opportunities as windows of opportunities, changing your perspective, realizing cognitive dissonance may occur, and then you have a better understanding what social interaction is and why it's always been of utmost importance to you. Like I said, the blessings keep coming in here, all right? I showcase it here with the cup being given, and you may or not seeing it because it's an emotional, tumultuous moment or subjects for you to accept, because they bring a lot of pain to the surface and it can be overwhelming. But those are also reset moments of a coin of opportunity for you to always see that. And if you see that with a better perspective, from a higher perspective, from a louder perspective, you'll start to understand the prime reason that emotional redemption cannot be found in this reading. That what's triggered within you is not helping you understand your own emotional redemption. It's bringing justice to it. So the Queen of Pentacles here, Mother of Pentacles, is again where you find a rootedness to the gold coins that Ether keeps providing you. And it's with the narrative that's pretty important to many, but a lot of Libra energy is dependent on this, is to fulfill the mother role. And hence why it brews Libra, who is playing the mother role, who's affected trauma in his or her children, it becomes interesting to see that some of the psychological behavior is based on the Libra energy being too masculine, lacking compassion, lacking the love of emotions to be the narrative of healing. Now keep in mind, I'm not a medical professional, ladies and gentlemen, or I'm just energetical reader. So, yeah. So, the way that Libra is looking at this perspective of opportunity is to find a healthier version of why love is still and always will be the best form of medicine to provide. Not only does it have to make sense, but it has to be fair. And that fairness has to be given an opportunity to shine through each one of us on our own first, before the interconnectedness or desire of any other relationship to come or that comes with you, meaning children. Some of you love indigenous history of the land that you live in. For those of you who are in the United States, understand a different narrative. For those who don't have that under wraps. All right. You love life politics. In many ways, it's your strength. But again, this energy is so draggy, Libra, that you're holding on too much dead weight because you're afraid to bring light to it. You can be more powerful and being adamant and in control of that of which you call your own darkness, and stand in its presence with what it is that you are, and you entertain it with a different version of power because you're not a victim of it. So learning these things is very, look at that third eye, High Priestess. Learning that is important with the dynamic that you're looking to build or find in your relationships right now. I don't care who the listener is or how old you are. This is a timeless message to a possible resonancy of value. And that value can only be placed of importance through how much you bring credit to that staying power, that awareness of frequency, and highlighting and illuminating your spiritual powers. Because some of you are holding on to dead weight that is in the way of finding out how actually all these problems are just residues of how powerful you are. You're just having the wrong perspective about it. Look at that, Ace of Cups. Regenerative opportunity is what Ace of Cups really provides. It's being able to cleanse yourself of old and appreciate that something filtered is a new version of the old. I gotta say, this is like not the high vibrational reading that if you're again a returning listener to my channel, this is different. This is, yeah. The masquerade, hiding your true self projection. Yeah, like you're hiding. You're in hiding. It's dead energy. You're trying to be under the radar. It's not working out for you. If that definitely resonates, then really truly stop hiding, because obviously your energy projects, proving that the dead energy has light capacity to it, because your light has the ability to understand where it's coming from. It's your ego that's difficult to have a control over at this time. Hence why emotional redemption can't be found here. The Hound, loyalty, chains, promises, and the runaway, secrets, running from problems. I mean, time keeps on ticking, ticking, ticking into the future. This is more powerful if you're a returning listener to this channel and you feel the difference of the energy that's being read and you realize what you're realizing. Because in that you understand your power, your presence is dynamic. You are a force to be reckoned with, a force to be understood. You're not quiet, but then when you are quiet, you're too quiet. You have a remarkable key waiting for you of opportunity. You just have to, and you keep being told this by someone, in or out of side of a reading, that you have the key. You're just so afraid of turning the lock. All right, Libra. We have a rainbow of darkness. Shadow work is addressing difficult things in life. And I would cry, however, it's not working for me anymore. The mystery is all on top of the deck. Before we close this out, I just want to see what the ego is struggling with. And it's about the narrative and acceptance of this card, Death, understanding its significance to you, the Page of Swords and Eight of Swords. Understanding that the ego is just a battle of understanding that it doesn't know if it's operating in light or in darkness for you, and where your attribute of understanding that aspect through your fears brings you in learning to gain control of them, and then have a better perspective of why anxiety shows up in your life the way it does, or trauma or chaos happens in relationships around you. Because the ego has a relationship with your higher self that it actually really enjoys. It's just about the pinnacle aspect of you accepting what your emotional, ethereal, and physical bodies are representing for themselves in this fight of sovereignty and unconditional love. All right, that is all that I have for you at this time. Go ahead and check out the description box below to see if any of the links are of interest to you. I'm wishing you a wonderful morning, noon, or night, wherever you are in the ether of this time and space. And may you keep flowing, growing, and glowing. Take care.